guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm going to show you guys how to make this very simple dress. So as you can see, I folded my fabric into two, so I have two pieces of it here. So guys, the best fabric that will look nice with this will be crepe or any fabric that is light, but I use this Akara because it's crepe at the moment. So as you can see, my fabric is folded into two, both the front and the back, the length where I want it to be, so it depends on you. And then the next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and fixing your shoulder measurement divided by 2, but you're going to subtract 1 inch from it. So my shoulder divided by 2 is going to be 8. Subtract 1 inch from it because it's sleeveless. That will leave me with 7. Mark that here. Divide my, so I'm going to go ahead and mark that, and then I'm going to come down by 1 inch of shoulder slope. Next thing will be your bust measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5, whatever that is, mark it. And then you're going to go ahead here and connect this line together, give it a curve. So guys, once you mark that, the next thing will be to mark from your shoulder to your waist. So for me, that will be at 17. Your shoulder to your hip. So for me, that will be at 24. And then the shoulder to the length of the dress. So I want mine to be at least 38. So you see I have about 38.5. 1 inch of folding the edge and half an inch for the shoulder part. Divide your bust, come up to the chest line, divide your bust by 4. So whatever you get, you're going to go ahead and add at least, it depends on you, you can do half an inch of ease for your bust, right? If you don't want it to fit at all, you can do 1 inch of ease, 1 inch of seam allowance. It depends on you. So I'm going to do at least half an inch of ease and then 1 inch for my seam allowance because I don't want it that free. And then come down to my waist. My waist is where I'm going to do 2 inches. So it will be better for you to do your bust divided by 4 plus half an inch and then 1 inch of seam allowance. My waist, I'm going to do divided by 4 and then plus 2 inches here because I'm going to be adding the belt to it to help pull it together towards the back. So 1 inch of seam allowance, 1 inch of 1 inch of seam allowance, 1 inch of ease, so 2 inches here. And then to the hip, the same thing I did at the bust. My hip measurement divided by 4, mark that here, and then plus my 1.5, that's 1 inch of seam allowance and 1 inch of ease. The same measurement will be brought down here. That's why I'm not going to remove it because it's not pencil, it's straight. So now you connect from the waist to the hip and then from the waist to the bust. So once that is done, the next thing will be to cut from this armhole up. So guys, this is basically it here. So you see, what I have here on my hip was enough for me. So when I was folding the fabric, the measurement I used was basically my hip. I made sure that after folding it, that the width of the fabric was my hip measurement divided by 4 plus at least 1.5, or you can do 2 inches if you want that much ease on your clothes. But guys, 1.5 is okay. So that's how I was able to determine the width. And you see, I didn't cut out anything as from this point down because it's exactly the hip measurement that I used, but I cut out from the waist and then to the bust. And then also this is my armhole piece here. So I'm going to go over to the neckline now and mark 3 inches of neck width. Connect the shoulder slope. And then after that, I'm going to do 1 inch for the back neck. And then I'm going to cut this piece out too. So guys, you see what I cut out from here and what I cut out from here. Remove the two. So now I'm going to separate it. You see, I did 1 inch for the neck depth because the two are still together. But once I remove one from it, which will serve as my back panel, I can go ahead and do some changes to the front. So I'm going to remove the back, and then this is going to be my front. So you're going to go ahead, bring down this neckline how you want, but you can just do 3 inches for your neck depth here and go ahead and cut that out. So I'm going to go from this point here, this aside. The same for the back panel. You're going to do just one change to it, the way it is again. I'm going to go ahead because it will have a button at the back. So what I'm going to do is to split it open to where I want it, like about 5 inches down, folding it over with a facing, and then I'll add a button to it. So this is just the opening at the back to help my head fit in. So now I've done all the changes I need. For the back, I split it open. For the front, I cut out about 2 inches of neck depth. I'm going to set this to aside now. I folded my fabric into 2. What you have here is basically your armhole divided by 2 plus 1.5 or so. So guys, the length I have is about 16, but it depends on you how long you want the sleeve to be, but just know that it's below your elbow, right? And then after that, you're going to just come down 4 inches down here, and then you're going to draw in your normal sleeve, which is going to be this way. I'm going to mark a straight line here. Halfway through that straight line, give it mark here, and then give it a curve above and a curve below. So you came down 4 inches, drew a straight line here, and then give it a curve. Halfway through that straight line, give it a curve here, and then a curve below. Then after that, you're going to go ahead at the bottom here. You see that the sleeve itself, your sleeve width divided by 2, whatever that is, that's down at this point, divided by 2, because that's the length of the sleeve, somewhere here. Mark whatever you got. So once you mark that, you're going to go ahead and add at least 2 inches, 1 inch of seam allowance, 1 inch of ease. So you're going to go ahead and connect it to this point. So now we are going to cut it. So guys, the next thing you're going to do, so you see I cut out this part, and then I also cut off this part too, right? The side and then the top part. So now what you're going to do is the opening you want at the top of this sleeve. So what I'm going to do is come down, or you can do 4, it depends on you. So let's do 4 inches. It will be better so that the opening will be wider. So I'm going to do 4 inches of opening here, and then it depends on you how low you want to come down here. You can do 7 inches, or you can even do 8 inches. You can also measure on yourself how low, you figure out how much you want to come down. So I'm going to do, let's say, I think I'll do 6.5, so that my bias will take half an inch, and then I'll be left with 7 inches. So from there, I'm going to connect it all the way to this 4 inches. Remember, my 4 inches distance is from this point to here. So the top part of your sleeve, 4 inches. Down from this point again, 6.5. And this is on the side of the fabric. I'm going to go ahead and give it a curve to this point. And this point now, I'm going to cut this whole thing out. So guys, I opened up mine a little bit more. So I just did 7 inches. I just brought it down a little bit more. So now, because my fabric is a little bit stiff, so I want it to be able to just flow like how the one on the video is. So you see, this is what it looks like at this point. So this is the opening at the side of your sleeve. If you're, as I'm looking at it now, I'm thinking, is this too small? But I'm just going to go with it like this. So what you're going to do now is to go ahead and measure around this point. So take your tape, start from one end here and measure this opening. So for me, I have about 16.5. Remember, this is I'm cutting 2 sleeves at a time, right? I have 2 of it here for the 2 sides. So I have 16.5. So that 16.5 now is what I'm going to use to cut the flounce. But I'll be cutting my flounce as half a circle because I don't have enough fabric to go ahead and do the normal way people cut flounce. But this, so you know, this is Akara fabric, right? I folded it into 2 first. You see the 2 ends here. It's folded into 2 like this because I want to cut both sides together. And then the next thing I did was to fold it again this way, right? And then now I'm thinking if my measurement can fit here, but that will be after I divide, like calculate what I need. If it doesn't fit, then I might have to fold it again. So guys, I went ahead to cut it out so I will not confuse you guys. So basically, you see what I have here. Let me show you. So you see, I have 2 of them here. So I'll fold this into 2 now. And then I'll also go ahead and fold this into 2. Place it on top of each other because I'm cutting for the 2 sides of the sleeve. So what I have here is basically about 11 inches on this side, 11.2, and then also on this side 11.2. This is how I got the 11.2. So I did 6 that 16.5 I got around the opening of that sleeve. What I did was to divide it by 3.14. Guys, you're dividing it for everybody by 3.14. As long as your fabric is folded into 2 like this, because we're cutting half a circle. So divide it by 3.14. whatever you get. So for me, I think I got 5.25, so around 5.5, right? So what I'm going to do is, on this side of my fabric with the fold, I'm going to go ahead and insert 5.5 on it. 5.5 here, 5.5 here, and then also 5.5 all the way, just like this. And then to that, I'm going to also insert my sleeve length, which I want to be the same 5.5, right? So that should land me at 11. So that's how I got the total of 11 here, because I want my sleeve length. So it's basically what I got after dividing, which was 5.5 plus the length I want my sleeve to be. But just remember that to this length, you're still going to add in your seam allowance to fold the edge. So I'm going to just go ahead and mark round. Just keep marking 5.5 or whatever you got. If you want your flounce longer, you can do more than 5.5, because by the time I do this 5.5, by the time I fold my end 1 inch, use half an inch to join. So guys, if you feel like this is not flounce enough for you, that you would want yours like more like you want more fold at the end like this, then you should do full circle, right? So instead of dividing by 3.14, fold your fabric into 4 and divide by 6.28. I'm just trying to manage my fabric, that's why. So next thing I'm going to do is just to open this here, and then I'm going to use this edge like this. So you see, like what I'm saying is, if you feel like this fold here is not enough for you, because if it was a full circle, I would have even more fold here, right? So if you just go ahead and cut a full circle, that way you will get more of the flounce effect at the end. So you see, what I'm going to do is basically take this here now, separate it into 2, and then I'm going to go from one end like this, sew this thing down all the way to the end like this, and then use bias to turn it over, like use bias again to fold it in. If you don't like this method, another thing you can do is sew it from inside out. This would be the easiest way to do it. That way you don't even have to, just sew it from inside out like this. Sew it right side facing the wrong side of this, right side facing the wrong side of this. Put this on top like this. Sew it using half an inch inside. Snip, 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 snip. Come to this side here, and then you're just going to take this, turn it over to the front, and then you can go ahead and top stitch it. This will be the easier way to do it, and it will even give it like more effect of like bouncy effect. You understand? If it's turning over from the inside, it's almost like making a collar. So it depends on you which method you want to use. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for the 2 sleeves, and then also do the neckline. So guys, this is it here. Like as you can see, I've gone ahead and finished up the neckline. The 6 inches I left at the back, I just used a fabric to turn it over. This is just so that I can be able to have this button at the top. So you see there's a button on one side, and then there's this there's the casing for the button on the other side. So that's basically what this is for, so that my head can fit in. But if you don't want to have this here, you can go ahead and make both the back and the front neck wide enough, so you can make, instead of 3 inches of front neckline, you can do like 5 inches. That way your head can fit in, or 6. So guys, you see, even for the sleeve too, this top part here, the part where I did 5 inches or 6.5, I later extended it because I went back to the video to see how her own is, and then I saw that the opening was almost to her elbow. So it would be better to do like 8 to 7 inches for the length of this opening here. But this 4.5 still remains the same. The top part that we did 4.5, I still left it the same. So basically what I'm going to do is, for this side now, I need to come down here 4.5, notch it, right? So wherever that 4.5 is, I'm going to go ahead, notch it, and then you see what I did here. You're going to move this flounce towards to fit in the same line as where your armhole is, and then I'm going to take it, notch from this top part here, whatever you decided to use at the top of your sleeve, that part that we use 4.5, you're also going to come down here 4.5. If it's 5 inches you decided to use, come down here 5 inches, and then you're going to go ahead and insert this on one side. So this will be on one side, and then the other one will wrap around on the other side. That's meaning that is where your sleeve will start. So I'm going to measure from the tip of this point. Now let me do it so you see. So I'm going to measure 4.5, which is here for me. Let me go ahead and also notch it. So I'm going to notch it now. So now I'm going to separate the two of them. So what I'm going to do is take one side. So this is what my sleeve looks like. Let me show you. So you see, this is what the cold shoulder pad looks like. This is the opening part that we cut out, and then this was the top part of the sleeve here. So now all I have to do is just to put it down this way, and then I'm going to take this side and sew it all the way to the end of the armhole. Take the other one, also sew it all the way to the other armhole, and once that is done, I'm going to sew it close all the way. Then start from the end of the sleeve and sew it all the way to the end. And then getting to the waist, you're going to take something that looks like this, at least 4 inches or 3.5, and then insert it inside of the seam as you're closing it, and then sew it to the end and fold the end of your cloth. As you can see, I also made a belt that will go through this loop on both sides. So guys, once you join it on both sides of the sleeve, right, you see, you join one side to this point, join the other side to the back, and then you go to this side here, and close up your seam going down. The next thing you're going to do is to take your bias, and then you're going to go in 1 inch into the part of this sleeve, like 1 inch into, you see my sleeve here, the cap sleeve, you see one side of it, the other side of it here. So you're going to take bias, just like something like this piece of fabric, go in at least 1 inch or more than 1 inch in, sew it again on top. This will help you to fold the edge here, and then go in on this other side. You see the front also, I went in by at least 1 inch. So now what I'm going to do is this piece of my bias, I'm going to just fold it once this way and then fold it in. So now I'm going to just use it to turn over the side of this here all the way to the other side, and then by the time I'm done, it's going to look something like this, just like this one here. So you're just basically using it to turn it over, but you're going in at least 1 inch so that the edge of this here will not be showing. So you need to go in a little bit more. So guys, this is it. As you can see, I've finished it here, and also on this side. So you see the belt goes just at the back alone, and that's basically it. So this is the back. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Bye.